Hey, what's up to everybody out there? Welcome to another edition of the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money, and this is part 2 of the second part. Just moments ago, we visited Elaine Gordon, Enchanted Forest, Elaine Gordon Park, which is over here, and now this is Arch Creek Memorial Park for car meters. All right. So, right now, we are going. I guess that side is closed. So now we'll go this way. Because the pedestrian entrance, I believe, is closed. So now we're going to go through the car entrance, which is Arch Creek Memorial Park for car meters. Well, it has a museum, and the trail is to 5:30. The museum is to 5 o'clock. Oh crap! So actually, may not be Arch Creek Natural Bridge, because this is actually Arch Creek. And of course, Arch Creek actually is a part of Enchanted Forest Elaine Gordon Park. This is the museum. Let's see. Probably not the best thing to go to the museum right now, because the museum closes at 5. And right now, from my understanding, we're only a couple of more minutes left until the museum closes. So the trail actually, oh, and white line is coming, if you can actually see it. So right now, we're just going to give you a quick swift through the park. Just like Enchanted Forest, Elaine Gordon Park. Only thing different from this park is this park is owned by the county. Enchanted Forest, Elaine Gordon Park is owned by the city of North Miami Beach. So, this is called a military trail. Oh, there's history behind it. Also, there is history behind this park. During the Third Seminole War, 1855 to 1858, Captain Abner Doubleday and Captain John Brandon utilized the natural bridge to cross Arch Creek as a part of the development of an expansion of military trail connecting Fort Lauderdale to the north and Fort Dallas in Miami to the south. The trail linked to an already existing portion of a rock road that led to Fort Capron, 5 miles north of Fort Pierce in 1892. It became a part of the first country road passing over Natural Bridge and Arch Creek in 1915. It was renamed Dixie Highway. So this park actually has historical information on it. I didn't really do too much research on this park. I did look it up, but as I saw when Elaine Gordon Enchanted Forest Park, I figured that the two did not have significant information, because Enchanted Forest did not, because of course that park is owned by the city of North Miami Beach, where Arch Creek Memorial Park is owned by the county. Now, granted, majority of these parks that you're going to be seeing throughout the series will be owned by the county. There are very few of these parks that will be owned by the city itself. So you're going to be seeing a lot of and also state parks, because there are state parks like that will be owned by you're going to get some of these parks. Very little of the parks are going to be owned by the city, but you're going to have majority of the parks that are owned by the state. And no, very little of these parks are going to be owned by the city, Majority of these parks are going to be owned by the county, and then there are some that are going to be owned by the state. Most of the city, no, most of the county and state parks are going to have historical information on them. You know, just like when I went to Atlanta, and when we did we went to Martin Luther King Historical Park, which was this is the Arch Creek Road Military Trail, Arch Creek Park, Museum, Nature Trail, picnic tables and shelters. It says the preserve and trail is open from 9:30 to 5:30. Museum is open from 10 to 5. This was the Arch Creek State archaeologically site, excuse me if I said it wrong, was listed on the National Registration of Historical Places in 1985. It contains a portion of the military trail, a wagon road built during the Third Seminole War, 1855 to 1859, by the U.S. Army. In 1856, Captain Abner Doubleday, 1819 to 1893, and John Brannan and their troops constructed part of the military trail between Fort Dallas on the Miami River and Fort Lauderdale. It later became a portion of the first county road in 1892, passing over the Natural Bridge and Arch Creek. In 1915, it was renamed Dixie Highway. The road was designated a local historical site on January 18, 1995. Okay, so the road that they're talking about is Dixie Highway, which, by the way, is about 2-3 minutes away from here. Cause the road that you hear, the stuff that you hear now is Biscayne Boulevard, which is US 1. So you do have, and they have recycled trash and trash bins throughout the park. The difference between a county park and an actual park or a city park is the county park, majority of their parks, if they're like this, they have significant history behind it. There's butterflies here. In other regular parks, these are not man-made parks. These are nature parks, meaning that nature created these parks. But you do have man-made county and city parks that was built up. This is the nature trail that we're going to create. As you can see, this park is not as big as the Enchanted Forest Park. But, if I would have got here earlier, we probably would have seen the museum, because they probably had history in the museum. All right, we're gonna go through here. We're gonna look at the nature trail. The nature trail is here. So we are in the nature trail. I don't know how long this nature trail is. As you can see portions of Biscayne Boulevard through the nature trail. I guess since this park is only open for a few hours of the day, it's not a regular park because they don't have a playground. They probably do have a bathroom, but it's near the museum area. They don't have a lot of stuff here. It's like you can come here only in the daytime. Other parks, they're open to like 6, 7, maybe 8 o'clock at night. So for here, you're only getting a few hours from 9 to 5, and then from 9 to 5:30, and then the museum is open from 9 to 5. Like a regular work day. So you're not going to get much out of this part. So what we're going to do is walk through. There's actually wow, I would have never got this nature trail is kind of big. I guess throughout the time they probably do a walkthrough of the trail just to make sure there's nobody in the nature trail area, so they won't lock anybody in here. Even though if you know how to jump the gate, there are several ways of getting out of here, but you don't want to try to jump the gate to get out of a nature trail. I will be doing my research on this park, and I'll have to get back with y'all and do an update on this park, because I honestly didn't believe that there was going to be information because I thought that this park was actually, oh, I went into a spider web. That's one thing about these trails that you got to look out for is spider webs. Even though I'm short, they still can come as low as up to you. But the one thing I didn't realize, because I actually thought that this park was actually owned by the city of North Miami, since Elaine Gordon, Enchanted Forest Park was owned by the city of North Miami. But Arch Creek, you know, the name does sound have like a significant. This tree looks so historical, and like you will see a lot of things that live in it. But like I say, due to a lot of tropical storms and hurricanes, a lot of these trees have, you know, there's another spider web. A lot of these trees are rooted up from the ground. Like this one here, it's been rooted up to this because of the storms and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to hang low because I see a lot of spider webs around here, and I'm not trying to get into one. And even though I may go lower than usual, I'm just not trying to be caught up in another spider web. That's the one thing you have to look out when you come to these parks. Not only the nature critters that are out here, but also the spider webs and stuff. See, I've just ran into another one, and it got the tip of my hat. And that's the one thing you have to worry, because I believe a lot of people with this park doesn't see a lot of attention because of the time frame, and it's not an actual park, meaning that it don't have a playground or anything, so people don't come around in this park as much. So you're gonna have to look out for a lot of these spider webs and things that sits around here, because a lot of these people, so it's a butterfly right there. So I'm trying to avoid running into it. Let me go this way. There's a trail right there. I'm gonna go this way to the trail. To be a small park, this does have a long trail, and I'm surprised that this park has this long trail, because the way the park sits, you literally see Biscayne right there. So it's like the trail is not as long as you would suspect, but it is a long trail, and I'm just amazed by it. Okay, I guess we're getting towards the museum part of the park. Let me look at. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm looking at my watch is just reaching 5 o'clock. So early settlers in the mid 1700s, Florida was primarily inhabited to the Seminole tribe. Archaeology findings suggest this site may have been a temporary home for the tribe. Okay. By 1858, white settlers had begun arriving to the area around the Natural Bridge and Arch Creek. Settlers built a canoe mill at the Natural Bridge to grind the native canoe roots into starch. The town of Natural Bridge, later known as the town of Arch Creek, grew and prospered in the early 1900s. A group of people from Elmira, New York, established a winter colony where they grew grapefruits and tomatoes. They are credited with being the first organized settlement in the area. Tourists from Henry's Flagler, Royal Palm Hotel, picketing the Arch Creek. They have a lot of. Today, the park's building by 1920, the town of Arch Creek had a population of 307 residents. A real estate boom in the mid-1920s transformed the small community into a fast-paced city. Arch Creek was incorporated into the town of Miami Shores in 1926, and later the city of North Miami. Wow. Today, the park's building function as a museum and nature center. It is designed as a replica Florida wood frame style home, traditional of early settlements in this region of Florida during the late 1800s. So that means the city of North Miami and Miami Shores, which is still cities now, conducted was the town of Arch Creek. That's interesting to know. They still had the coronavirus, practicing social distancing, even though coronavirus doesn't exist. Let me go through a different area of the trail. Let me see the trail here. By my watch beeping, that means that it is now time for the museum to close, even though the museum probably already closed. We're gonna go up there in a minute. I just want to walk around this area and give a quick understanding. So this does have historical facts about it because it was a trail and it also was for the settlers. Okay, and this is a museum that's inside of a house that was one of the houses that was later for, and this is in memory of Elmore Kirkeller, 1915 to 1999. Wow. Alberta Kirkeller, 1923 to 1997. Oh. Plants poisonous to people. Also, they have poisonous plants. And this is from the Fairchild Tropical Garden. Oh, wow. Oh, there's a rabbit. Look at the rabbit. I didn't see the rabbit. Talk to our park naturalist to receive a Wings Over Florida checklist and learn more about Florida butterflies. There is a place called Butterfly World, which we'll probably be visiting in probably the near future, because Butterfly World is in, of course, Broward County, aka Fort Lauderdale. So we'll probably be visiting there in the near future. Okay. So now I'm gonna sit. Is there anywhere to sit? Oh, there goes White Line going north. I'm gonna go take a sit right quick down and take a brief pause for the cause and more information. So Arch Creek is basically, we're going to learn more about this park in about 2 seconds, because I'm going to see what Arch Creek is basically all about from this right here, and then we're going to take a thing, Arch Creek Natural Bridge, because this is Arch Creek. I'm going to go on this side since it's more better. Until 1973, when it collapsed, the 40-foot natural bridge of Olette limestone that spanned Arch Creek was one of South Florida's earliest landmarks. Prehistoric Indians occupied this site hundreds of years before European exploration. In the early 1800s, Seminole Indians lived in the area until forced out by United States soldiers during the Second 1836 through 1842 Seminole War. During the Third 1855 through 1849 Seminole War, a military trail connecting Fort Dallas and Fort Lauderdale passed over the bridge. In 1892, the first county road to South Florida crossed here, as did the Dixie Highway, which opened in 1915. In the past, the natural bridge has attracted both tourists and settlers. A community known as Arch Creek grew up around the Arch Creek station of the Florida East Coast Railroad. By 1903, there were sufficient settlers to warrant the opening of the Arch Creek Post Office, which later became the North Miami Post Office. Okay. So this is the Arch Creek Natural Bridge, was reconstructed in 1988. This is Arch Creek. And Arch Creek, as you know, It's an historical Arch Creek, which also runs through the Enchanted Forest Elaine Gordon Park. This is the pedestrian entrance to the park, which they probably closed or has been closed off for quite some time. So right now, oh, there's some money on the table. So right now, give you an understanding of this park. I didn't really think, as I said earlier, that this park had any historical, you know, information on it. I just thought that the park was owned by North Miami and that it was, just a regular park. But now seeing that it is owned by the county, and when I did my research on in the Enchanted Forest Lane Gordon Park, my research, there wasn't a Wikipedia page, there wasn't any type of historical page that told you about this. There was many like trip advisories and all of these other pages that told you about the park. And then I went to the main park website, which is the City of North Miami's website, and it just told me like there was, I think, a 22-acre or 23-acre park, and that it had pony rides and a petting zoo and all of that. That it didn't say when the park opened or when the park in. So when I did it, when I did this park for Arch Creek, I didn't realize that Arch Creek was just a few steps away. And I didn't realize that Arch Creek is park, but I've seen Arch Creek Park before, but I'm like, I know Arch Creek Park is somewhere near here. I just didn't know where, and I didn't know, and I did forget that it was steps away, because Arch Creek Park is near Biscayne Boulevard, US 1, which is a major street here in South Florida. So I didn't know that for a fact. So when I did that, I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. Now I know that this is one of the parks that, a historical park. It has historical significance and stuff like that. So I kind of went there. So with that in mind, I was like, okay, yeah. But now I realized that this park did have some historical significance. Most of the county parks does have historical, background to it. A lot of these parks, I'm sorry, excuse me. I had to drink. But let me not leave the camera here so you would think that I'm just sitting in one spot. A lot of these county parks does have historical backgrounds to it, and you're going to be seeing that within a segment. I did create an area called History South Florida, where a lot of the parks and a lot of the places that I'm going to be doing history about it and showing you historically about, you're going to be seeing there, and you're going to be seeing, you're going to be seeing them throughout. Let me take a look at Arch Creek once more. If you want to learn more about Arch Creek, you can also, Google it and Google more information about it. If you want to know more about this park, poison ivy. This is poison ivy. Oh wow, this is poison ivy. I've never actually seen poison ivy. But you do have to be cautious when you do come out to these places like this, when you come to these nature trails and come out to these parks, because you don't know what type of plants and things that are out here that can be irritating to your skin, and not only that, that can be poisonous to your skin. So you do have to be cautious when you come out here to these places like that. And even though I do take a risk and do take a chance, I think Natural Bridge Site, a meeting place of the past and the future, March 5th, 1988, Arch Creek Trust Incorporation. Even though this bridge is not really useful as much because it's mainly a pedestrian bridge, but this bridge was created back in the early 1980s. As you see, we've been through the whole park. Wow, we've been through this park, and it took up half of the time. So this is interesting. That is the train tracks. On the other side of the train tracks, of course, is Enchanted Forest, Elaine Gordon Park, which I did not know that, which I kind of figured it did, that the Arch Creek did reach into the Elaine Gordon, Enchanted Forest Park. So I kind of figured that it was going to do that. This is littlefreelibrary.com. Take a free book, share your book. Fill your house with stacks of books in all crannies and all the nooks. Dr. Seuss. So they do have where you can get free books and stuff, even though I don't, want to take a free book because, even though I read, I don't read as much as most people do. So I'd rather leave it for somebody who's there. And this is the trail that we took was a historical military trail. That's what it says right here. It says the historic. Let me get closer to it so you can better have an understanding. It says historical military trail. And there is an actual street called Military Trail, which is in Palm Beach County. And they actually call it Military Trail. So Military Trail, the actual street probably does have a significant ties to this park, So, and there is a park link. Scan me, find your adventure. Park link is a new way to plan your park's fun. Browse and reserve all your favorite park amenities. Track account balance, stay organized with mobile calendars and more. That's a great way for that. Oh. I don't know what I did with my thing that was over my face. I think I left it on my little wipe. Probably left it on that bench, but we're gonna go back to the bench. But okay, this is Arch Creek Memorial Park for Carl Meters. Even though I don't know who Carl Meters is, but I mean, that's the name of the park. If you have any questions, comments, email roundtable00@yahoo.com. You can also comment at the bottom of this page. Arch Creek is a body of water which is historically flowed from the Everglades eastward into Biscayne Bay. The name is derived from the 40-foot, 12-meter long, and 20 feet, 6-meter wide natural oolitic limestone bridge that spanned the creek until 1973. Okay. 1892, the first county road passed over the natural bridge, later becoming Dixie Highway. Over the years, there were plans to blow up the bridge, reroute the creek, and even build a used car lot on the property. After intense lobbying by citizens groups such as Tropical Audubon Society, Miami West Indian Archaeology Society, and the Arch Creek Trust, the Florida cabinet voted unanimously to preserve the property in 1973. Within hours of signing the official documents, the natural bridge collapsed into the creek. Erosion and old age was determined to be its downfall, combined with auto traffic and vibrations from nearby railroad tracks. Arch Creek Park was officially opened in April 25, 1982. In 1986, a replica of the natural bridge was constructed. In 1986, so settlers visited the natural bridge by horse-drawn carriage in 1910. Courtesy of History, Miami Museum. Arch Creek Natural Bridge collapsed in February of 1973. Arch Creek Bridge postcard, 1920. Man fishing along bank of Arch Creek Natural Bridge, 1920. You can see a lot of these pictures came from, back then. And this is a replica of the Arch Creek Bridge. And there's probably a bigger part of the Arch Creek Bridge that, because it collapsed. So, and you can see that a lot of this is basically part of the Arch Creek area. This is the Arch Creek Memorial Park for Carl Meters. That's what the sign says in the front. This is email me roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment at the bottom of this page as well. If you have any questions, comments, or anything you would like to know about this park, as well as Elaine, Enchanted Forest, Elaine Gordon Park, you can always email, comment at the bottom of this page. I can honestly tell you right now, I don't have too much information on these parks, so you're not going to get too much information out of me. If you would like to know more about these parks, you can email or visit their sites. You can visit the county website. You can also visit the City of North Miami website to see if you can get more information on these parks. And you can also, check online to see if there's more information about it. If you have any information on this park or anything you would like to share about this park, feel free to not only comment, email, but share your facts. This is a Jamaican caper, whatever that is. I don't know what that is, but I greatly thank you for watching this episode of the Roundtable Talk and the earlier episode where we was at the Enchanted Forest Elaine Gordon Park. I keep calling it Elaine Gordon Enchanted Forest, but it's Enchanted Forest Elaine Gordon Park. I greatly appreciate you watching this episode and the earlier episode. If you have any more information, like I said, email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to, let us know anything that you want to know and that you like to know. This is the Roundtable Talk. I am your host, C Money. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next episode.